Hello everyone and welcome on the Papier de Rêve channel. I'm Ursula and today I will be painting with you an echinocactus, which is also called in English a golden barrel cactus. I rather prefer the name in English because in French we say mother-in-law's cushion and I think it's a little bit mean for mother-in-laws. So this cactus is a round, big cactus with a lot of needles on top of it. So it's quite interesting to paint because of the texture it has, and I think it will be a very interesting painting. So I'm starting this painting with a background with a cool color at the top with lavender and a warm color at the bottom with nickel azure yellow and ocher red gold. And I don't care about making watermarks on it just because I want a lot of texture in it. So I'm adding lots of water and I let it dry totally before adding the next layer. So for this painting I want to use the gouache masking technique because I think it will be really fitting for this one. So I'm starting to apply some white gouache on top of my first layer so that all the gouache will mask this first layer when I add other colors on top of the gouache. And I like to apply the gouache quite freely and in a quite thick way, just because the layer after that will probably wash a little bit off the gouache. So I need to put a little bit more gouache, more needles, more texture in order to get something at the end. So I paint all the needle I want to mask with white gouache. I do not dilute the gouache at all. I want really to be really present and really strong. So I avoid any water in the gouache so that the color stays strong and it will protect the color underneath a little bit better. And then I will let this layer dry totally, and this is really important because as we will see after that, I didn't wait enough, so the gouache wasn't quite dry and I wash a little bit too much of the gouache with my layer of color on top of it. But that's okay, it's a mistake and I will learn from it, and I think it will turn out no matter what. So when I'm happy with all the needle I've painted with white gouache, I will let it dry and I will talk you through my supplies. For the brushes, I'm using an Escoda Último 1" and an Escoda Último number 8. And also for the tiny details, a silver brush black velvet 1/4 inch. For the colors, I'm using Indanthren blue, manganese blue, Amazonite genuine, nickel azure yellow, yellow ocher, ocher red gold, and lavender. And for the acrylic inks I'm using the color sepia and indigo. Of course, the white gouache is the opaque white from Schmenger. And I'm adding a little bit of texture with the granulation medium from Winsor & Newton. And today my paper is from Arches in hot pressed. So when the white gouache is totally dry, it's time to add some acrylic ink and some colors to it. And you will see that I didn't wait enough and my white gouache is washing a little bit off in the acrylic ink, but that's okay. It will work anyway. So I will be able to correct this little mistake after these layers. In previous painting, I noticed that my sepia color was quite yellowy, so I think about mixing it with the indigo color in order to get a green, and the green I get is really beautiful. It's a really natural color, and it's a really nice mix, and I should have tried this mix before, because it's a really nice color. I like it a lot. And why adding this color to my painting, I'm also adding a lot, or quite a lot, of granulation medium, so that the ink will granulate on my paper and create a lot of texture, and I think it's a really nice way to add texture with granulation medium, and it fits my subject, because it will add some, like a sand texture on my paper. So when I'm happy with all the acrylic ink I've put on my paper, I will let it dry and then wash the gouache off my paper by putting my paper in the sink and let the water drip on my paper. I rub really gently the gouache area. You can see it on the video right now. It's not the painting I'm painting right now, but it's quite similar. And you can see how I'm washing off the gouache this way. Once my paper has dried, you are able to see that even though I didn't wait enough for the gouache to dry before adding acrylic ink, it worked really pretty well, and I'm really happy with all the texture I had on my paper, and I think things are turning really good right now. So you are already able to see the cactus emerging on my paper, but I have to work a little bit this cactus even more, so that it will be a little bit more visible, and I need to add some volume to this cactus, because there is shadows on it and light on it, and I need to do that by adding darker color in certain area, and then soften all the darker color into the lighter area. For the green, I'm using a mix of Indanthren blue and Aussie red gold, and a little bit also of yellow ochre, because I want to stay quite true with the green color I've put on my paper with acrylic ink. I want that all the colors are working really well together. So I'm not trying to get a really vibrant green, but quite a more dull and muddy green here. I've also added a lot of yellow ochre in the ground around the cactus, just because it's a granulating colors, and it will add even more texture in this area. So I think it's quite a fitting color for earthy area. In my first layer, I did use a little bit of lavender on the top of my painting, and I just want this color to be also in the bottom of my painting, so that it will speak to one another part of my painting. So I'm adding a layer of lavender in some area, and I think it works really great with the yellow ochre, and it adds a little bit of interest in this area. So as I said before, a lot of my gouache went away with acrylic ink, and I didn't get as much as needle as I wanted, but that's okay, because I can still add a lot of needle with white gouache again, but this time I will not wash it off. I just use the white gouache with a little bit of yellow ochre, so that it's a little bit warmer than the gouache straight away from the bottle. And I'm adding a lot of tiny needles in order to get all those details back in my painting. And I think it's quite a nice way to add also needles, because the ones that are masked by the gouache at first haven't the same structure and the same volume as the one I'm adding right now. So it will add a little bit more volume and texture to my cactus, and it will make a little bit more real. I think that you are thinking that this painting is a little bit messy, but it was really fun to paint, and it's quite nice to be able to just throw some color on top of the paper and see what happens. And this video is now ending. Thanks for watching, and I hope you like it. Please check the blog post for more information about this painting and tell me what you think in the comments. See you soon.